It's not by chance that you're viewing this video. There's a reason you're here. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the timing of your life and know that you're being led to where you're meant to be. As you stumble on this video, perhaps not by chance, it will serve to awaken your spirit. You've been sensing a shift, feeling the resistance, and deep within, there's a quiet knowing that something has changed. Let this serve as your confirmation. You have already crossed over. You've stepped into the beginning of your promised land. Though you may not yet see all the evidence, the spiritual realm is already aware, and the enemy is panicking. For when a chosen one steps into their divinely ordained territory, everything begins to shift. The forces that once oppressed you start to lose their grip. The delays that once frustrated you begin to break. The enemies who once seemed powerful now scramble in fear. Not because you are fighting harder, but because in truth, you have already won. Let us now break this down into 7 divine chapters so you can fully grasp what is unfolding and why the pressure you're feeling has taken on a different weight. But before we go any deeper, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, because this is not just another video. This is a divine alert, a prophetic confirmation that you, chosen one, have already stepped into your promised land, and the enemy is fully aware of it. If your spirit bears witness to what is being spoken, I invite you to type 77 in the comments right now. That number is not random. It is a prophetic code, a declaration before heaven, and a signal to the spirit realm that you are aligned, activated, and prepared to take possession of what is already yours by divine inheritance. Understand this. Not everyone will make it to the end of this message because not everyone has crossed over. But if you remain, if your spirit is ready and willing, you will receive clarity, gain insight, and unlock the divine awareness that comes with the revelation that you have already won. Chapter 1. The shift has already happened. Chosen one, listen carefully. This may be one of the most important revelations you receive in this season. The shift has already happened, not next week, not when the money arrives, not when the apologies are spoken, not when the results become visible. It has already occurred, quietly, powerfully, and without needing your permission. It took place in the spirit realm, where heaven has already made the announcement concerning your life. Your name has been released into new territory. Your access has been granted. The doors have already opened. But because you've grown accustomed to delay, because you've endured intense spiritual warfare, it's easy to assume that you're still on the journey, still waiting, still in transition. The truth, however, is this: you are already there. In the kingdom, divine shifts rarely begin with fireworks or loud signs. They begin with pressure, with resistance that feels strange, with battles that don't seem to make sense, with moments of exhaustion, confusion, and a quiet inner knowing. Because in the spiritual realm, movement creates friction, especially when you step into something sacred. You may still feel like you're in between seasons, like you're approaching the promise. But from heaven's perspective, you've already crossed over. The Red Sea behind you is closed. The wilderness is behind you. And while the ground beneath your feet may feel unfamiliar, it is still holy, and it is still yours. You are not being tested to qualify. You've already been approved. What you're experiencing now is not qualification, but positioning. The warfare you're encountering is not about where you're going. It is about where you already are. The enemy is not trying to block your next step. He is reacting to the step you've already taken. He senses your spiritual movement before you fully recognize it, because your steps now carry a different weight. There is oil on your feet, there is favor on your name, and there is fire in your voice. The realm of darkness cannot withstand what has just shifted in your life. That heaviness in the atmosphere, the tension, the strange resistance from people and places that once felt comfortable, is not a sign that you've made a wrong turn or that you should retreat. It is, in fact, a divine signal. You've arrived. Hell always panics when heaven elevates. You have become a walking disruption to systems, atmospheres, and spiritual structures that were designed to keep you small, hidden, and hindered. But God has enlarged you, and now the pressure you're feeling is not a sign of failure or delay. It's confirmation that you are no longer where you once were. You're no longer asking for permission. You're taking possession. You're no longer begging for access. You are stepping through doors as if they were made for you, because they were. You've stopped seeking validation from people who were never spiritually qualified to recognize your calling. Instead, you are walking in a reality that heaven already declared finished. This is the moment where your faith must become sharper than your feelings. Your natural eyes may not fully perceive it yet, but your spirit already bears witness to the truth. You have entered a new dimension, a new chapter, a new realm of authority, a fresh flow of divine favor, and the enemy knows it. So stand firm. Do not let the fog of uncertainty make you forfeit what you've already entered. Do not let the delay in manifestation convince you that the shift hasn't occurred. It has. It is done. It is finished. With every act of obedience, every moment you choose to show up despite the pressure, you activate more of what has already been released over your life. This is your confirmation. You are not merely walking toward your breakthrough, you are living in it. And now your assignment is clear. Your responsibility is simple. Take the land. Chapter 2. The enemy can smell the promise. Chosen one, make no mistake. The enemy is strategic. He does not waste energy attacking random targets. He focuses his efforts with precision, zeroing in on those who carry something sacred. And you are carrying promise, purpose, wisdom, and heaven-backed power. That is why the pressure feels so intense in this season. The enemy can sense the oil on your life. He sees the shift occurring in the spirit realm. He recognizes that heavenly reinforcements are surrounding you. He is aware that the land you have long prayed for is no longer just a hope or a vision. It is being released into your hands, not theoretically, but as a legal spiritual reality. He knows that you are standing on the threshold of something permanent, and that awareness terrifies him. So what does he do? He deploys distractions, delays, confusion, and noise. Not to stop the promise itself, but to prevent you from fully settling into it. Understand this. Pharaoh did not chase Israel while they were still in bondage. He pursued them after they had already been set free, because that is when hell panics, after deliverance, when destiny begins to unfold. This is exactly where you are right now. You are no longer bound. You are no longer confused about who you are. You are no longer stuck in the cycles that once kept you small, hidden, and hesitant. You have been delivered, and now you are dangerous because free people who carry divine purpose are absolutely unstoppable. The panic you feel around you, the spiritual turbulence, the sudden attacks is not coincidence. It is not random. It is demonic disorganization. Hell is in chaos because the control it once had over you has been shattered. The strongholds have broken. The lies have lost their power. The generational curses have met their match, and that match is you. The enemy cannot stop what God has already released over your life. So instead, he attempts to confuse you before you take full possession of it. He tries to get you to question your progress, to doubt your worth, to second-guess your next step. Because if he can't steal the promise, he will try to shake your confidence, hoping you'll forfeit it yourself. But here is the truth. The more you move forward, the more unstable your enemies become. Because your forward movement means total defeat for them. Your obedience disrupts their operations. Your worship dismantles their weapons. Your identity shatters their illusions. You are now walking with spiritual weight, and everything dark knows it. This is not the season to shrink back. This is not the time to negotiate with fear. This is the moment to stand tall, grounded in the confidence of the one who called you. You are no longer a prisoner. You are no longer in spiritual survival mode. You are no longer begging for crumbs from tables God never ordained for you. You are a possessor now, a rightful heir, anointed to take territory, built to carry kingdom responsibility, and marked to disrupt systems, transform lives, and shift generations. The enemy smells your promise. That's why he's afraid. He isn't afraid of your past. He's afraid of your future. Because he knows that the moment you fully believe in who you are and what God has placed inside you, it's over for him. So keep walking, keep building, keep believing. You're not just carrying the promise anymore, you are stepping into it. Chapter 3, you're not who you used to be, and hell knows it. Chosen one, understand this. One of the greatest threats to the kingdom of darkness is not your resources, your connections, your platform, or even your prayers. It is your growth, your internal transformation, your unshakable spiritual maturity. Because the version of you that exists now is not the same person who cried their way through the last season. You no longer respond the way you once did. You don't fold at the first sign of pressure. You don't run to old habits in search of comfort. You've been delivered from the need for external validation in order to move forward in faith. You have been stretched, refined, and tested. And now you walk with wisdom. You choose peace over panic. You respond with discernment rather than desperation. You wait on God rather than chasing what simply appears shiny or promising. You've grown, and hell knows it. And that evolution within you, that spiritual maturity you've developed, terrifies the enemy. Why? Because now he can no longer manipulate you with the same old tricks. He can't bait you with the same temptations. He can't trap you through the same emotional warfare. You've graduated, and with that graduation comes a new level of authority, access, and spiritual responsibility. Understand this. The real warfare you experienced wasn't just about your external circumstances. It was about your internal capacity. God wasn't merely delaying things in your life. He was developing you. He was stretching your spirit so it could carry the full weight of your calling. He was enlarging your character so you could hold the blessing without collapsing under it. Because immature people mishandle miracles, but the mature multiply them. And now that you have matured, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, the gates have opened, the land has been unlocked, and the next level has recognized you. Why? Because you have become stable enough to steward what is being released. The promises that were once delayed are now rushing toward you, not because they changed, but because you finally aligned yourself, spiritually and internally, to hold them. And here is what you must understand. The enemy is now in full-blown panic mode, not because of what you have, but because of what you've become. You now know who you are. You walk with identity. You speak with clarity. You worship with weight. You pray with understanding. You serve without striving. You obey even when it's hard. And that obedience has become a spiritual earthquake in the enemy's camp. Your confidence in God is a threat because it reveals that you no longer idolize outcomes. You trust divine timing. And your consistency in faith has become a weapon because it means you are no longer led by what you feel, but by what God said. Your identity is your access. Because once you truly know who you are, you stop negotiating with fear. You are no longer the broken version of yourself. You are no longer stuck in survival mode. You are no longer striving to earn what heaven has already freely given. You have stepped into authority, into clarity, and into legacy. Hell hoped you would remain confused, but instead you became clear. Hell hoped you would stay insecure, but now you walk with the posture of a son, a daughter, an heir to the kingdom. And now that you know who you are, there is no turning back. This version of you, the healed, mature, discerning, spirit-filled, kingdom-walking version, is exactly what the enemy never wanted to see. So keep walking, keep building, keep speaking life, because your evolution is not just personal, it is prophetic. You are no longer who you used to be, and all of hell knows it. Chapter 4. You already have the victory, now you're just enforcing it. Chosen one, hear this with your whole spirit. You are not fighting to obtain victory. You are fighting because victory has already been secured. The outcome is not uncertain, pending, or in progress. It is finished. God has already signed the contract. The covenant is sealed in heaven, and the promise was written in eternal ink. No demonic delay, deception, or decision can overturn what God has ordained. What He has approved, no one can cancel. You are not waiting for confirmation, you are the confirmation. The enemy's tactics at this moment are not rooted in power, but in fear. He is bluffing, projecting illusions, and stirring up noise because he knows the truth. He no longer has legal access. The blood of Jesus has covered it all. The curse has been broken. The verdict has already been declared in the courtroom of heaven, and it has ruled in your favor. Therefore, you are not moving toward victory, you are moving from it. Every step you take in obedience is a step deeper into the territory God has promised you. Each time you choose to worship in the midst of warfare, you are declaring to the spiritual realm exactly who you belong to. Every moment you show up in faith, even when fear is present, you are actively enforcing what heaven has already completed. This is not a season for pleading, it is a season for binding. It is not a time to shrink back, but a time to step forward boldly. You are not merely hoping for the door to open. You are awakening to the truth that it has already been unlocked. You are not a victim of delay, you are a vessel of dominion. You carry spiritual authority and stand as heaven's representative on earth. Wherever you walk, you carry legal access to shift circumstances in your favor. And the only power the enemy has is found in your ignorance. That's why his strategy is rooted in confusion. This is not a battle for survival, it is a walk of possession. Just as Joshua and the Israelites were called to step into land already promised, your role now is to place your foot upon the ground God has already given you. Not to ask for permission, not to second guess, but to take possession boldly, prayerfully, and obediently. The enemy will attempt to convince you that the promise is still in question. He wants you to hesitate, to grow weary, and to interpret resistance as defeat. But the truth is unshakable. Heaven has already declared, it is yours. Your peace is yours. Your restoration is yours. Your calling, your influence, your financial release, your generational breakthrough, your anointing, your land, it is all yours. You no longer have to fight for what has already been completed. You simply have to enforce it. And you do so through obedience, through consistency, through the authority of your voice, through the power of your prayers, and through the unshakable confidence of one who knows the victory is already won. You are not here to beg God. You are here to align with what He has already spoken. You are not here to plead with the enemy. You are here to enforce the eviction notice. You are not on trial. You are walking in the fulfillment of a divine ruling. So stand tall, chosen one. What is in your hand may appear small, but what is within your spirit is unstoppable. You already have the victory. Now walk in it, declare it, build with it, and move as if it is finished, because it is. Chapter 5. The land is prepared, and so are you. Chosen one, let this truth settle deeply in your spirit. The land is not in the process of being prepared, it is already prepared. And even more importantly, so are you. There is territory, spiritual, financial, relational, and geographical, that has been divinely ordained and meticulously tailored with your name on it. Before you were even formed in your mother's womb, God had already measured its boundaries. He had already laid its foundation. He knew which doors you would need to walk through, which battles you would have to face, and which victories you were destined to carry. You are not stepping into something random or coincidental. You are stepping into something that was built with your obedience, perseverance, and faithfulness in mind. This is the land you prayed for in the dark, the land you wept over when no one else was watching, the land you fasted for while fighting silent battles, and the land you remained loyal to God for. Even when it seemed like nothing was changing, you honored Him when it hurt, you followed Him when it was lonely, and you praised Him when there was no visible proof of the promise. Now the land is ready, and so are you. And now the season is shifting. You have entered a realm where your name is being spoken in rooms you have never physically entered, where opportunities are aligning with divine precision, and where keys are being placed in your hands. Keys that were forged in the fire of your process, the fire of your trials, and the fire of your surrender. What once appeared to be delay was in truth divine design, and what once felt like rejection was actually redirection toward the exact land God intended for you to rule. Understand this. The land you are stepping into is not merely physical property. It is a realm, an assignment, an atmosphere you are called to dominate. It is a platform, a responsibility, and a legacy-defining movement. This promised land is not simply your reward. It is your divine responsibility. You are not just entering a place, you are stepping fully into purpose. This is a season marked by divine strategy, as heaven releases blueprints, connections, and supernatural insight to help you build what eye has not seen and ear has not heard. You are not here to merely visit the land. You are here to cultivate it, multiply it, protect it, and leave it greater than you found it. The land was never waiting for the impatient, insecure, rushed, or double-minded version of you. It was waiting for this version, the one who endured, the one who matured, the one who grew through the process and chose to trust God anyway. Now the land is in alignment, and so are you. You will begin to witness the manifestation of prayers you nearly forgot you prayed, and people will begin to say, "I don't know why, but I feel led to help you." Doors will open that defy natural explanation because you are finally walking in the fullness of your spiritual inheritance. But remember this, the promised land is not just about what you receive, it is equally about what you release through it. It is not solely a blessing for you, it is the beginning of a divine blueprint for others. What you build, what you birth, and what you leave behind will outlive you, for this is about kingdom legacy. Therefore, walk boldly, speak wisely, build with reverence, and remain humble. Because although the land bears your name, God is still its rightful owner. Yes, the land is prepared, but the most beautiful and powerful truth is that so are you. Chapter 6. The panic around you is proof of the power within you. Chosen one, take a moment to truly observe your surroundings. Something feels off. People are behaving strangely. Relationships are shifting without clear explanation. And spaces that once felt familiar now feel foreign. Doors are opening in unexpected ways, while others are closing abruptly. You're being embraced in places you'd never imagined, and at the same time, you're being rejected by people you thought would always remain. But this is not confusion, coincidence, or chaos. It is spiritual panic. What you are sensing is the atmosphere around you struggling to keep up with the weight and authority of what you are carrying. The disruption is not a sign of disorder. It is evidence of your rising influence and the power within you becoming impossible to ignore. When a chosen one steps into a divine alignment, everything around them must adjust. Atmospheres shift, conversations change, and spiritual systems begin to realign. Even those who lack spiritual awareness can sense that something about you is different, even if they cannot articulate it. You are not merely walking into spaces, you are carrying glory. You are not simply entering rooms, you are enforcing heaven's agenda. As a result, nothing remains neutral when you arrive. Things move, shake, and tremble. The very energy of a place reacts. Demons recognize your presence, and the atmosphere acknowledges the one who walks with you. You are no longer operating as just yourself in the natural. You have become a living, breathing portal of divine purpose, and hell knows it. The enemy is not concerned with your current possessions or status. What is causing panic in the spiritual realm is the power of who you are becoming. The more you come into alignment with heaven, the more your destiny begins to unfold, and the enemy cannot stop that unfolding. His only option is to distract or derail you before you fully realize the magnitude of what you carry. But here's the truth. You have already crossed into your promised land. You have already been marked. The oil is already flowing. The assignment is already active. And the only thing that could ever stop its fulfillment is if you choose to surrender it. That is why the enemy's tactics have shifted. He is no longer relying on obvious attacks, but rather on subtle strategies. Distractions cleverly disguised as opportunities. Voices that seem supportive, but conceal hidden agendas. Delays designed to make you doubt, and old wounds resurfacing to provoke self-sabotage. Yet you have grown too much to be deceived by these tactics, and you have matured too deeply to back down now. You did not survive the wilderness only to give up in the promised land. So when everything around you feels unstable, you must remember who you are, where you've come from, and what you carry, and stand firm. You must remain rooted, obedient, and fully surrendered, not to fear, but to God. The panic surrounding you is not a threat. It is a signal, a divine indicator that what is within you is finally awakening the environment around you. The mantle you carry is beginning to reveal itself. The calling on your life is resonating louder than ever, and the kingdom within you is now too real to be ignored. Do not be deceived by the discomfort. You are not being attacked because you are in the wrong place. You are being targeted because you are finally standing in the right one. You are occupying sacred ground, ground that was promised generations ago. You are breaking chains that have bound your bloodline, and you are building a future rooted in divine strategy and destined for eternal impact. Chapter 7, walk in it, for it is already yours. Chosen one, this is not a season for retreat, hesitation, or self-doubt. This is not the time to shrink back, delay action, or wait passively for another sign, another prophetic word, or yet another confirmation of what has already been spoken over your life. You have already received the divine instruction. God has already declared it. Heaven has already sanctioned it. The decree concerning your destiny has already been written, and the ink upon that sacred document is dry, unalterable, and final. You are not standing at the edge of a breakthrough, longing for a promise to be fulfilled. Rather, you are already dwelling within the very promise that was once foretold. There is no longer a need for you to strive, struggle, or exhaust yourself in pursuit of validation or permission to step forward. You do not need to beg for acceptance, nor do you need to prove your worth to people, to systems, or even to yourself. Your value has already been established. Your path has already been prepared, and your identity as the chosen one has already been affirmed. Therefore, walk in confidence, move with assurance, and live as one who knows that what has been given is irrevocable, and what has been spoken shall come to pass. God did not call you on the basis of your popularity, your public performance, or your personal perfection. His call upon your life was not contingent on human metrics or worldly recognition. Rather, he called you according to divine purpose, a purpose established before the foundations of the world were laid. He chose you before time began, and now that appointed time has arrived. It is time to take possession of what has always rightfully belonged to you. The land you are entering is not a distant dream or a vague possibility. It is your inheritance, secured by covenant, promised by God, and ratified through divine authority. The promise you are standing on is not subject to chance or speculation. It is not a hopeful maybe. It is a guaranteed reality backed by the full weight and authority of heaven itself. The victory you walk in was not achieved by your effort, nor is it something you must strive to earn. That victory was sealed once and for all through the finished work of Christ on the cross. You are not engaged in a battle to secure the promise. Rather, you are exercising spiritual authority to enforce what God has already declared and eternally settled. Therefore, your internal posture and outward demeanor must now undergo a transformation. This is the moment for you to carry yourself with the confidence of one who knows the land is already theirs. It is time to walk with the composure and dignity of someone who belongs, no longer thinking like a temporary visitor, but like a rightful possessor of all that has been divinely assigned to you. Let your words reflect the authority of someone who holds spiritual title deeds. Let your actions reveal the insight and boldness of a visionary who understands that God provides for everything he initiates. Give, not from a place of scarcity or survival, but from the abundance of one appointed to distribute heaven's resources. Move through life, not as a wanderer seeking validation or permission, but as a kingdom ambassador, authorized, equipped, and sent. In every aspect of your life, your thoughts, your speech, your posture, your generosity, your movement. Let it all reflect and align with what heaven has already decided concerning you. This is not the season for doubt, hesitation, or second guessing. Rather, it is the appointed season to dominate, to take authority, to establish foundations, to plant seeds, to bring forth fruit, and to multiply what God has sovereignly placed in your hands. Make no mistake, your arrival into this divine moment has not gone unnoticed. The enemy is fully aware that you have stepped into your appointed place and purpose. That is precisely why the intensity of the warfare has increased. That is why strange and unexpected circumstances have begun to unfold around you. That is why you have felt pressure in areas of your life that were once marked by peace and stability. This shift did not occur because you missed a step or made an error in discernment. It happened because you stepped into alignment with divine timing and authority. Your advancement has disrupted the plans of darkness, and hell is nervous, fully aware that you are no longer standing at the threshold, but have now crossed into your territory. But here is the unshakable truth. Hell has no power to stop what heaven has already initiated. No devil, no delay, no betrayal, no institutional system, no voice of opposition, whether internal or external, has the authority to override or nullify the sovereign decree that God has spoken over your life. What has been divinely ordained cannot be reversed or undone by human effort or demonic interference. You have already crossed over into your promised land. Yes, it may still feel unfamiliar. Yes, there may be giants visible in the landscape. Yes, your emotions may still be wrestling with uncertainty. And yes, you may find yourself moving cautiously, step by intentional step. But none of that changes the reality. You are already in the place God has prepared for you. Your presence in the promise is not determined by how it feels or by what you see, but by what God has spoken and established. Regardless of what surrounds you, you are standing in the fulfillment of divine intention. And now the only thing that remains is for you to believe it, fully and without reservation. You must possess it first in your mind and spirit, even before it fully manifests in your hands. You are called to speak it with authority, to walk forward with boldness, and to carry yourself with the confidence of a rightful heir. Lift your head high, not as a beggar, not as one seeking approval, but as a son, as a daughter, as one who carries the unmistakable mark of heaven's favor and the unshakable certainty of divine inheritance. You have waited long enough. You have prepared diligently and faithfully. You have suffered through trials, endured hardship, obeyed divine instruction, matured through seasons of refining, and grown into the person capable of stewarding this moment. Now the time has come for you to fully walk in it, with confidence, with clarity, and with the unwavering understanding that this moment was made for you, and you were made for it. And if you're still hungry for more chapters to this journey, or a visual concept for a video or thumbnail, just say the word. I'm here and ready to help bring it all to life. Thanks for watching. Here ends this video. Take a moment to like, share, and subscribe if you find this video interesting.